Alright Blues, and welcome to our Skype preview for the Liverpool game this Saturday. I'm joined by Alex and James. You'll remember James from our Skype Pundit Pursuit. He won it, he was brilliant when we had him on, so it's a pleasure to have them both on with us. This is a bit of a new Skype preview. It's a Q&A. What we've been doing is asking you guys via Skype to ask us questions about the game, and we're going to try and answer them the best we can. So get involved next week. It's going to be a weekly thing, so all you have to do, add us on Skype. It's BlueMoonRisingTV. The link will be in the description below to add us. Send us in your questions. It can be a video, it can be audio, it can be text, anything about the game, and whoever's on as guests will try and answer them. So let's get into this week's questions. The first one comes in from Jeff from Moss Side.
Do you think Raheem Sterling's going to score against his former club?
That's Jeff. And William Peacock's asked something similar as well. He's asked, should Raheem Sterling celebrate if he scores on Saturday? Alex, what do you reckon?
Of course Raheem should celebrate if he scores on Saturday. Forwards should always celebrate goals. Raheem Sterling should celebrate if he wins a throw-in against Liverpool. I can understand Liverpool fans being upset that Raheem didn't want to sign a contract when he was there, but they are going to give him so much stick. There's going to be so much abuse directed at him. The roof is going to come off the Etihad. If Raheem scores, he'll definitely celebrate. I don't want him to. I'll be shouting his name as loud as anybody else. In terms of will he play well, we'll find out. He's in good form. He seems to be getting better and more confident in the City shirt. He's played 2 games for England. Hopefully that'll give him a little bit of momentum. And the Liverpool game, he's going to be more up for it than anybody else. I expect him to be the main man.
Yeah. James, do you think he can handle the pressure?
Yeah, I think he can handle the pressure. In terms of celebrating, I like Alex's spirit, and it almost sways me a little bit. I'm concerned. I don't think you want to encourage maybe Liverpool players to go out there and break your leg or keep the fans booing at you and having a distraction. I look at Rudy just dead and the fact that he was classless against us for Villa, throwing the ball to Hart. Almost, landing off of him and scoring a goal. So I'd like to see, potentially some more class out of him. I do see Alex's point.
Right. Well, I don't know if he's going to score. I'm going to say that it's impossible to know. But should he celebrate? I always think strikers should celebrate. But like I think James has said, I think there's probably a balance. I think they're celebrating and then not trying to, do what Adebayor did.
I agree with you, but I think there's different types of footballers, and I think James Milner is the sort of player, for example, that if he scores against City, we'll probably just kind of take it in his stride, and it'll be one hand in the air, and he'll be quite gracious. But not to disrespect Sterling, I think he is a different kind of player, and I think he's the sort of player that relishes it when he's up against it, and he's the centre of attention, and he's the kind of player that, if anything, that'll just drive him to play better and put more work in. And it's likely that if he scores and Liverpool fans boo him, it'll just push him to score a second.
There we go. Well, next question's in from Hi Sam Shaquille. He's asked, would you drop Yaya Toure for David Silva with an informed Fernando and Fernandinho in behind? James, I'll throw that one to you.
No, I don't think you can drop Yaya Toure, and it's an interesting question because if you look at some of the statistics, Silva is an important player. He's 29 years old compared to Yaya Toure's 32. He's got 6 assists in about 6 games compared to Yaya's 4 in 11. So you really want Silva in there. You want him playing, and perhaps you could take Yaya Toure off if he wasn't Yaya Toure. If Yaya Toure's on the bench when David Silva gets injured and he has to come on, is he going to play well? I think you have to deal with Yaya's ego there. So I would drop Fernando, even though he gives us good defensive midfield. Have Silva up front, maybe even have Silva on the wing and push Yaya up. I think you have to keep him in. And, additionally, Yaya played on De Bruyne in the Seville game, for such an important goal in that victory. I can't remember the game, but he bossed it at the touchline and, brought it to about the 6-yard box, crossed it in, and almost single-handedly created a goal. So I think he's an important guy to keep happy. And I think you see the reason why we're trying to get Pogba so much. As long as Yaya Toure is at this squad and at this team and we are injury plagued, I think we need to keep him happy. I think you need to keep him on the field. You can't drop him.
Alex, is Yaya undroppable?
I'm in 2 minds in this one. It depends which Yaya Toure turns up. I think if the Yaya Toure that is the kind of Yaya that lays on De Bruyne, the Yaya Toure that scores in big games and is always up for it, then he is undroppable. If it's the Yaya Toure that we saw away at Villa, who looked disinterested, didn't seem too bothered, that Yaya is very much droppable. And I criticise Yaya Toure a lot on this channel about his commitment. I'm not sure that he's the same Yaya Toure that we saw 3 seasons ago, that used to just dominate every game and look like one of the best players in the world. And I think that, as James mentioned, Yaya's 32 now. He's not going to be around forever. It would be nice for us to show a little bit of depth and say, actually, we can do this without a player like Yaya Toure. Fernando and Fernandinho are both... Fernandinho is in the form of his life, and for me, is probably one of the best unsung heroes in the Premier League. Fernando is performing for the first time in this City shirt, is really getting some form. It'd be unfortunate to drop him. And like James said, we've got to fit Silva in there somewhere. Maybe it's a kind of job of Yaya first half, 60 minutes, and then kind of unleash Silva. Silva will be coming back from an injury and might not be up to 90 minutes. It's a real tough one. Yeah,
I think that I'd probably agree there with, if either of them are going to come off the bench and make a difference, it's probably Silva. I'd agree with James in saying that his ego with Yaya is the thing that might put people off. He needs to start, because will he give the same commitment off the bench? I'm not sure. I want you lot to tell us who's right, who's wrong. Let us know in the comments below about that one, because we're all stuck. The final question comes in from a man who's quite familiar on this channel. It's Mr. Walter Smith.
With Klopp playing such an effective pressing system like he did against us when he was manager of Borussia Dortmund, do you think he's got the players at Liverpool to be as effective in this pressing system?
Right, so there's Walter with the most complex question possible. Thanks for that, Walter. Alex, I'm going to come to you first. How is City going to counteract it? Can Liverpool play it?
Well, first off, salute to the king, Walter Smith. I think it's going to be interesting. I think Jurgen Klopp is trying to play his own style of football from the off, which is really interesting, because that's not a squad that is built for it. How City will deal with it, that will be interesting. I think the two strong holding midfield players that we've played all season are designed to play against attacking sides. And I look at Liverpool, and it's almost, if they're going to come and they're going to try and play expansive attacking football, they're going to try and play us at our own game. That's the football that we do at home. And this season, I'd go out and say that we do it better than anybody else. And you look at Liverpool's squads. I mean, I've got it here now on the computer. I'm looking at the list. There's no one in that squad, man for man, in the starting 11 that I would have over the starting 11 at City. Maybe you'd have Benteke over Bonny, but really, if they're going to come and play our own brand of football at our place, we should spank them. We should really, really turn them over, because we're just better at it than them. As long as we score first, we can put 3 or 4 past these if they're going to come and risk it, and they play 3 at the back or wing backs.
James, what do you think about that? Is it all about us counter-attacking them, so playing them at their own game?
Yeah, I think, as Alex points out, giving them a spanking. Against Crystal Palace, they opened up a little bit. They lost 2-1, and teams that play open against us, like Seville, we came out and crushed them. So I would relish that kind of football. The key is, we need to be firing on all cylinders. We can't be lethargic like we were in the first half against Villa. If people press us, we are going to need that one-touch, creative style of football, and to be high energy. Does Liverpool have the players to play that kind of football? I kind of went back and forth on this. I think they're kind of missing a Suarez, because a key element of pressing football is you need to be able to score. Benteke, Sturridge, often injured, and playing pressing football could only mean that maybe you're going to be more prone to getting an injury. I do think they have some squad players in a Klein, a Henderson, Milner, certainly, Jordan, to be able to play that. But fitness is going to be key. I don't think they're going to be Barcelona, by the weekend in terms of pressing style of football. So I think we'll handle it. I think if they open up, we're going to crush them. I back us to have a big game.
Yeah, I think if fitness is bang on there. If they've got a full squad, it's a different story, because then you've got Sturridge, Benteke, Henderson, Coutinho running at you. That's a big front line. But they haven't got that at the minute, and that's where we can punish them.
So we do need to be clinical. Let us know in the comments below, what do you think about how we're going to manage to counteract Liverpool's new way of playing under Klopp? Let us know in the comments below. Like if you've enjoyed this. We really want you guys to get involved. You could be a guest on the show, or just get involved by asking us a question on Skype, BlueMoonRisingTV. It's in the description below. Thanks to James and Alex for joining us, and we'll see you soon.